here is the most interesting episode about matters for you. Can you tell me some objects that we use in our daily life?
A cycle, a chair, a table, a cricket ball, pebble, stones, etc. All these objects do not have the same shape, color and uses because they're all made up of different materials. Some are of wood, some are of metal and some are of glass. All these materials are matters. These matters have got some characters. They are having weight. They occupy certain place.
Can you guess what are water and air? Yes, you are absolutely correct. They are also matters. But they do not have a particular shape unlike the objects seen in the picture. What are molecules? Molecules are the smallest particles that cannot be seen or visible to the naked eye. Attractive forces are there between them, but all these forces are not same in all matters. The internal molecular attraction is responsible for the change in the state of matters. This so-called attraction force of molecules depends upon their states.
There are three states of matter. These are solids, liquids and gases. The matters that we see in different forms such as water, air, glass, wood, metal, plastic, etc.
Let us examine solids.
Bricks, coal, wood are solids. You see these solids have definite shape. They occupy space and have volume and even weight. You can also feel these materials. They are hard. Whereas here are some more matters such as rubber, thermocol, cotton wool and sponge which are soft. Also salt, sand are solids that can be poured as a heap.
Why these differences in all these different objects? Can you guess? Think a while. The reason is quite simple. Let us see in the picture.
Molecules are very close to one another in solids. Distance between their molecules is very less. Force of attractions between molecules is more. Hence, solids have definite shapes and they occupy space and have volume. Now, let us have one activity. Take a broad-mouthed glass bottle. Fill it with glass marbles of small size. Shake the bottle so that the marbles settle comfortably in the glass bottle. And fill it with some more marbles and fix the lid tightly. Now you observe keenly through the transparent glass. You may notice that there are small gaps in between the marbles. Similarly, in the solids there will be some distance or space in between the molecules of all matters.
Now let us learn about liquids. Can you name some liquids? Yes, correct. Water, milk, petrol, kerosene and oil. These are all matters that can flow. You know, they can occupy space and have no definite shape.
If we pour water on the floor, it flows. If we pour water into a bottle or into any other container, it takes its shape.
Let us examine gases. Can you name some gases? Yes, correct. Air, oxygen, hydrogen, etc. You see gas cylinders in our houses? They are filled with compressed gas. Molecules of gas in a balloon are also compressed because they are loosely arranged. Gases do not have a definite shape, but we can smell some of the gases. Now let us see an experiment.
Keep some unlit incense sticks in the corner of a room. Observe whether the smell spreads or not. No smell is noticed. Now light the sticks. Within a short time, the smoke with the smell spreads throughout the room. By this we understand that the force of attraction between the molecules is very less. The smoke of the incense sticks enables the molecules of the smoke to move irregularly and spread the smell throughout the room.
Children, let us experiment to see how the matters can change from one state to another. Now observe this activity.
Take some ice blocks in a beaker and heat on a spirit lamp. After a few minutes, the ice blocks melt into water. Do not stop heating. Continue it. You can observe the water emitting out from the beaker as water vapor. When the room temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, the water will be in liquid condition. If the temperature is brought to 0 degrees Celsius, the water changes into ice. If the temperature reaches or is increased to boiling temperature, water changes into water vapor or gaseous state. By this activity, we can conclude that ice, that is solids, on heating become water and further heating become water vapor. When water vapor is cooled, it becomes water and therefore water, when cooled, becomes ice.
Molecules are of same type in all these states. Their arrangement, internal forces and attraction of the molecules are the causes for the change in states. The state of a matter depends upon the attraction and the distance of the molecules present in it. Welcome children. By this time all of you are well versed with matters and their states. Well, now we are going to learn about elements, mixtures and compounds. Hence, the smallest particle of a molecule is called an atom. Matter is so formed by atoms, which are not visible and are indivisible. Atoms are the smallest particle of the substance that cannot be seen with the naked eyes. Molecules are formed by a group of atoms, that is, of the same type or different types of atoms. Substances or objects are formed and seen only when it is formed by lakhs and lakhs of atoms.
Now observe the pencil. In the middle of two wooden blades, one graphite piece is inserted. This new substance graphite is made of carbon. So, graphite is the other form of carbon atoms. These carbon atoms are similar, so they are called homogeneous atoms. When we speak of water molecules, they are formed by different molecules such as hydrogen, 2 molecules, and oxygen, only 1 molecule. These hydrogen and oxygen molecules are not similar. They are non-identical and different. So they are called heterogeneous molecules.
By this, we can understand that objects have two types of formations, such as physical states and chemical states.
The physical states of matter are solids, liquids and gases, whereas the chemical states of matters are elements, compounds and mixtures. Elements are again classified into two types. These are metals and non-metals.
Elements. Substances formed by homogeneous atoms, that is, having similarities in molecules, are called elements.
By combining two hydrogen atoms, one hydrogen molecule is formed. In the same way, oxygen molecule is formed by two oxygen atoms. Chlorine molecule is formed by combining two chlorine atoms. Atoms in an element are of same kind.
Substances formed by homogeneous atoms are called elements. All substances are made of elements. Till now, nearly 118 elements are discovered. These elements are of two types. They are natural and artificial. Natural elements are 92 and artificial elements are 26. Elements that are in solid state are carbon, iron, sodium, etc. Elements that are in liquid state are mercury, bromine, etc. Elements that are in gaseous state are nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, etc.
Elements are divided into two groups, namely metals and non-metals. Copper, silver, gold, mercury, calcium, magnesium, lead, iron are examples of metals. Carbon, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, sulfur and phosphorus are examples of non-metals.
Now let us examine the characteristics of metals. At room temperature, all the metals except mercury are in solid state. Metals have a quality called malleability. That means metals can be changed into sheets and wires. They are flexible. Gold, silver, copper, tin, lead, zinc, iron, nickel, etc. are all malleable. Electricity can pass through metals, so they are good conductors of electricity. But the conductor of electricity is not the same in all metals. Copper, silver and aluminium are good conductors of electricity. Iron, copper are good conductors of heat. Non-metals are non-malleable and they are bad conductors of heat or electricity. Graphite is an exception in non-metals. What are compounds? Yes, substances whose molecules consist of two or more different types of atoms are called compounds. For example,
water molecule is formed by a combination of hydrogen and oxygen atoms.
Compounds exist in solid, liquid and gaseous states. Compounds in solid state. Example of compounds in solid state are sodium chloride, which is also common salt, copper sulfate, that is blue vitriol, iron sulfide, etc. Compounds in liquid state. The liquid state compounds are water, carbon tetrachloride, alcohol, etc. Compounds in gaseous state. The gaseous state compounds are carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, etc. Nature of hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen are gases. Hydrogen is combustible and oxygen supports combustion, whereas water, which is the combination of hydrogen and oxygen, does not burn. On the other hand, it puts off the flames. The character of a compound formed by the combination of two elements is completely different from the elemental componental substances, whose molecules consist of two or more different types of atoms, are called compounds. Mixtures. What are mixtures? When two or more substances combine without losing their natural characteristics, that is called a mixture. Salt is one substance, water is another substance. When salt is added to water, water becomes salty. Water is not losing its liquid property. The result is salt water. How are mixtures formed? Combination of elements and compounds form mixtures. The substances that are present in the mixture are called constituents. These constituents may be in any proportion. They retain their own properties or characteristics. Elements or compounds in a mixture never combine.
Generally, mixtures are of two kinds: homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Example of homogeneous mixture is salt water. Example of heterogeneous mixture is muddy water. The constituents in homogeneous mixtures are completely soluble. They cannot be identified. Example, salt water. The constituents in heterogeneous mixtures can be identified and can be separated. Example, muddy water. Let us do this experiment. Take a glass of water, add 1 spoonful of salt and stir it. The salt disappears and the taste of water becomes salty. Salt cannot be seen by the naked eye. Now, take a handful of mud and mix with a glassful of water. The water becomes muddy. If you keep it unstable for some time, the mud settles at the bottom of the glass, leaving the fresh water on the top. This also can be done by filtering with filter paper. Heterogeneous mixtures can be separated by 1. Winnowing, 2. Sieving.
Here are some methods to separate the constituents of a mixture. They are decantation, filtration, evaporation. What is decantation? Decantation is when heavier components in a mixture settle down after water is added to it. The water is removed from one container to the other container. This activity is known as decantation. Let's do the experiment.
Take a glass of water and pour some sand into it and stir it. Keep the glass container at a corner without disturbing as shown in the picture. Transfer the water into another vessel without disturbing the previous glass. This process is known as decantation.
Filtration. Decoction of coffee or tea can be filtered with a sieve. Now let us do this experiment.
Take a glass of water and add some mud. Take filter paper and cut it into a circular shape and fold it like a funnel and make the inner walls of the funnel wet so that when we put the paper into it, it sticks to the funnel, that is, walls of the inner wall as shown in the picture. Place the beaker under the funnel. Now pour some muddy water into the filter paper. Then the mud particles settle on the filter paper, which is placed in the funnel, and the clean water is collected into the beaker. This method is called filtration. Nowadays we get water purifiers. Take a porcelain bowl full of water and add some salt and stir the mixture for some time. Light the spirit lamp on a water bath on the stand, over which place the porcelain bowl and heat it till water evaporates. It leaves salt at the bottom. This is called method of evaporation.
Common salt, which is used in our daily life, is obtained by evaporation of seawater. At the seashores, the salt water is let into the channels made on the shore and exposed to sun's light. Water in the channel evaporates and salt is left as shown in the picture. What is meant by solution? Homogeneous mixture of two or more components whose composition may be within certain limits is called a solution. Now let's do this experiment.
Take 50 ml of water in 2 glasses. Add some salt in one glass and some sand in another and stir well. Salt will dissolve in water, whereas sand settles down at the bottom of the glass. Filter the water of 2 glasses. Sand can be separated easily but not the salt, as it is dissolved in the water and forms a homogeneous mixture. So, homogeneous mixture cannot be separated by filtration. Thus, salt and water become salt solution. Sugar and water become sugar solution. Copper sulfate and water becomes copper sulfate solution. Component in a solution which is more in quantity is called solvent. That which is less in quantity is called solute. Therefore, solvent plus solute makes a solution. Water plus salt creates salt solution. In the above example, water is solvent and salt is solute.
What is solubility? Maximum quantity of solute that dissolves in 100 ml of solvent is called solubility. It depends upon the attraction forces of solute and solvent items and also depends on the temperature. When temperature increases, atoms move irregularly and freely, leaving enough space in between atoms. Hence, solutes dissolve more in solvent. Example, silver nitrate, sodium chloride, etc.
Take some water in a vessel. Add 2 tablespoons of sugar to it and stir it. It dissolves. Then add some more sugar till some sugar settles at the bottom. The sugar that settles at the bottom do not find place to hide. Now take a spirit lamp and heat the vessel with the sugar solution and observe. Now the sugar at the bottom disappears. What happened to the sugar? As the water is heated, the place between atom expands, providing the place for the remaining sugar particles. Thus, they settle in these gaps. Note that solubility depends upon the rise or fall of the temperature.
Let us see what we have learnt till now. Cotton, wool, silk are natural fibers. Polyester, terylene are synthesized from chemicals. Hence, they are called artificial fibers. Power looms produce fabric on a large scale. Silk fiber forms at the stage of pupa of a silk moth. Wool is obtained from the fur of sheep. Jute is used in manufacturing gunny bags, ropes, etc. The state of a matter depends upon the arrangement of molecules. Matter is found in 3 states: solid, liquid and gaseous. Solids have a definite shape. Liquids have no definite shape. Molecules move in a limited area, hence they have a definite volume. Gases have no definite shape. Molecules move freely, hence they do not have a definite shape. Matter is made up of atoms and atoms form a molecule. Element is a substance made up of homogeneous atoms. Elements are of 2 kinds, namely metals and non-metals. Compound is a substance made up of heterogeneous atoms. Combination of elements or compounds form a mixture. The components in a mixture retain their properties, hence they can be separated easily. Components in a mixture can be separated by physical methods. Winnowing, sieving, decantation, filtration, evaporation are the methods to separate mixtures. Mixture of 2 or more homogeneous compounds whose composition may be varied within certain limits is called solution. Hope you are aware of these topics. Meet you in the next module. Till then, keep smiling. Bye bye.